Okay, today is the 4th of May 2016. I'm in the Scouts building in the Mall Complex in County Longford. I'm talking to Fintan
McCasley,
Shane
McCasley,
and Bernie McBrien. Okay, do you want to start? You're here 25 years or 30 years?
I must be here about 25 years. I can't exactly. People say I'm here longer.
Yeah.
But I think it's about. I think I'm here about 25 years.
Oh. And did you do it as a young person?
No, I never was involved in it before my life.
And do you mind me asking where you're from originally? Like, you're from Sligo.
Yeah. But I lived just across the road, and I was outside in the garden one evening. My daughter was only 4. I think she was about 4 at the time. And a neighbour was involved in it here. She was a leader, Tricia Nugent. You might know her, she's from the town here. And she said to me, do you want to come over to see an investiture? An investiture is the thing that we do at the end of the year, or any time during the year, to invest young people into Scouts.
All right.
And I said, I'll go over some evening. So
just like an open day or something, people
yeah,
come along and see what happens.
Yeah, you just come in and like parents are brought into it and different things. So I came in, sat down, and I'm here since.
And Fintan and Shane, your father and son.
Yeah.
You're from Dublin originally, isn't it, Fintan?
Yeah.
Churchtown, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you just came down here to work, wasn't it, or?
I did. Yeah, I moved down here to work. Yeah, my job was moving down here in the house price. We've gone up in Dublin, so
yeah.
It was a good move. Yeah. And Shane was in Scouts. He joined from Beavers, and
was that in Dublin, like first?
No, here.
Oh, here was it?
I was born and raised here.
Ah, right.
And
they roped you into it.
that was it. Basically, there was no Scout section when they were finishing Cubs. There was no Scout section, so Bernie said, "Well, listen, if we don't get some parents to volunteer to open a Scout section, to run a Scout section, then they'll have nowhere to go next year." So I stepped forward. I'm here since, and that's it. Really, it's 13 years now. Yeah.
It's a lifetime.
Actually, it was longer.
Yeah.
And can you tell me what's involved with this? Like, you start off at Cubs, isn't it? You work your way up, or
No,
just Beavers. Beavers. At 5.
Or 6.
Yeah.
Yes.
6 to 8 years of age.
The ages have changed over the years. It was
Okay.
5, I think, when I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would the youngest age be doing? Like, what's just setting up a camp?
Well,
Or?
they just come in really, and a lot of the stuff to be done with the Beavers would be basic now. You know what I mean? Like, we used to be more involved in more games, getting them to play with each other, show them very basic camping skills. You know what I mean? And at that time, when I started, Beavers were not allowed to stay overnight. Nowadays, they are allowed to camp and stay overnight, or 1 or 2 nights. But when I started, it was only day trips they were allowed. You know, now they were showing all the things about scouting, about where it started, the signs, the uniform, very basic little things that they were showing about to do. You know, we might explain about camp, maybe put up a tent outside here. We used to bring them on a lot of day trips. You know, during the summertime, the weather got better and all that. Most of the places we used to go was Dublin Zoo. 9 years on a trot with the Dublin Zoo.
Oh, did you camp there or just go to?
Oh no, so we couldn't stay overnight.
You couldn't stay,
yeah. It's only in the last 5 years, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Since the introduction of the One programme. The One programme means that everybody, whether they're a Beaver or a Venture or Rover, they all follow the same programme. So you start off learning the basics, as Bernie said, how to pack a rucksack, what you need to bring on a day hike, up to how to put up a tent. And then, of course, obviously, that the higher you progress, the levels. You, for example, we were on the Mountain Pursuit Challenge there a few weeks ago, where the Scouts carry all their gear themselves. That includes their cook stove, so obviously they know how to use a trench and cook stove. The lightweight tents, that sort of thing, and all their personal gear. So they have to know an awful lot more. They have to be much more skilled. They have to be able to look after themselves on the side of a mountain where there'll be no facilities. Have to be able to boil water to drink it if necessary. You know.
Survival, like that. That's
it's much higher level. So that's the way that works. So now from Venture level and Rover level, we rarely use tents. We normally kind of just bring hammocks or tarps and build your own
coverings, is it with trees or something?
That's it, build your own shelter and that sort of thing, you know. So that's kind of the way that works. So obviously the higher up the program you go, the more difficult everything becomes, you know. So that's why everybody works on the one program. So if you're a scout and you're starting off, you start the same level as a beaver starting off. Once you bring in a day hike, how do you pack a rucksack? You know, and then you work your way up. Hopefully a scout will pick it all up.
But you're saying you're bringing a stove and stuff like that. Like, would you be able to go without a stove, like, and manage with that?
Well, you see, it depends. Quite often, you won't be allowed to build an open fire to cook on. You know, as well as that, for example, a lot of the mountains, you wouldn't get much wood to burn. You would have, like, it's basically open. It's very wet and boggy. So if it's dry, you might start a camp bog fire. And if it's wet, which it mostly is, you won't get any fuel to build. So you bring a compact stove with you, which is only the size of a cook set anyway, which will be about that size. And with that, then you have a bit of nets, and your stove, everything is in that. So you just put the whole lot together, and you have everything you need to cook with.
And so you're going foraging, like you said, you mentioned fishing as well, isn't it, like, and stuff?
Yeah, we have lots of scouts fishing, and we have what's called a backwoods weekend. And what that is basically is you build your own shelter, and like, you don't bring tents, you build your own shelter. And in those cases, if you're doing a backwoods weekend, then you will be cooking on an open fire.
And are you actually using fishing rods as well, or using a stick or some kind of tricks, or how
when
do you do
we brought the fishing out, we used fishing rods.
Yeah, okay.
That, you know.
Yeah.
And that. And
they're very beneficial, like if you are stuck out in the woods or something, and you know.
well, that's it.
Well, sometimes we would let them use their own imagination. If they can have ways, like even that time in the morning, you know, the way we're doing the snares for the rabbits and different. But it's just their own imagination, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's great, they can't catch a fish. Other times they can't catch a fish, you know?
It's kind of a communal thing, like you get together and see what's the best way of foraging or getting food and stuff like that.
If you're going to do a backwoods weekend, because you don't stay in. Sometimes now, that weekend now we didn't stay in tents, remember when we had it?
Oh, you don't? No, we're a backwoods weekend.
Backwoods, But everything is cooked outside in an open fire. You have no electric kettle or, you know, so you just have to survive that.
And obviously you find it very beneficial, like Shane, like you've done it through from beavers.
I've been for 15 years, and it's kind of something I was interested in from the start, and I stuck with it.
And you're a leader now, is it?
Yeah.
What did you find the best out of it? Like, how did it shape you? Or
I really liked it because, I mean, there was a lot of teamwork involved and group efforts and stuff. So it was great for, you know, building rapport with other people and
meeting people and new friends and stuff as well.
You meet people from all over Ireland as well, and sometimes all over the world, depending on the camp. And that was just one of, like, the social side of it was one of my favourite things. And you got to learn things off other people, you got to show them how to do things. And it was just a great learning experience. It was my favourite part of it.
And can you tell me each, like, where you're about, who you are, where you came from, what schools you went to, if you don't mind me asking?
My name is Bernie Farry.
Yeah.
I was born and bred in Sligo. Well, I was born in Dublin, but then my parents were both from Sligo, so moved back to Sligo.
And what's their names, your parents?
They were Farry as well, but both they're gone now. But so we moved back to Sligo, and then we were, because both their families were from there, and they were still had my aunts and uncles and everything there. So then I just stayed there all my life. Went to school in Ballisdare, national. Went to school, secondary school in Ballisdare. And after that I started working. I'm afraid them times there was no college. There was no money to go to college.
How did you end up here then? Did you meet a Longford man?
I got married then. My husband was from Leitrim, and then we got married, and we worked in the factory in Sligo, and it was closing down. And he knew a person here that worked in the factory out in Clondra, and he got a job. So I was working at the health board in Sligo, and he was here. So eventually we had to decide, we had to move. Now we had no family, we had one daughter, but we had no family at that time. So it was just every time he was down, I was working. So we just never seen each other, so we had to make a decision now. But we've no relations here, no, nothing here. You know.
And yourself, Vince?
Yeah, I went to Sing Street in Dublin, and I left school at 17, got a job, and then I went to college at night, Ratwines College of Commerce, and moved down to Longford then, under decentralisation, and been here since. So the kids are they're growing up here in Longford, and they've all been in Scouts one time or another. Youngest daughter is still in Scouts, and Shane's a leader. And that's it really.
Yeah. And you were telling me before you went to Compostela, was it? Was the 2 of you went?
Oh, we
Three
all.
of us,
The three
Well, it was 5 altogether.
5.
Yeah,
Three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did that come about? Like you yourself?
Friends.
Like you all like you're religious? Is it like?
No.
No, it was
You're not?
Well, I tell you what.
more a spiritual thing than it was religious.
Okay.
I guess.
And are you Catholic? You've done me asking, are you? Or?
No.
Yeah. No.
Well,
We're all born and
Bred
Yeah,
Catholic.
yeah.
Put it
But you're
that
not
way.
practicing. Yeah.
Put
Okay.
it that way.
Okay.
But no, I saw the movie The Way, and like a lot of people did, it was on special in Tesco for a $5. So I was quite impressed with the movie. I know I was
Who was
impressed
in that
with-
movie? Was it a famous American actor, wasn't it?
Martin
Sheen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've not
maybe
seen that,
wrote the
yeah.
story.
I never seen it
Jack
yet.
No.
Yeah, Jimmy Nesbitt was in it as well.
All right.
His name was Jack from Ireland. Yeah.
So that inspired you to say, I'd like to do something.
Well, I looked at it and I thought, yeah, well, that looks great. So I started investigating it, and I mentioned it to the Rovers. Rovers would be the scouts that are over 18. So, and they had one of the other Rovers had seen the movie as well, and they were all very enthusiastic to go. So I said, well, look, we'll get things in place. We did our bit of research, and we basically booked the flights, decided our itinerary, the whole lot, and actually, it was, as these things go, it takes a month. So we were a month in Spain, but it was very reasonably priced. I mean, you were living on very little every day. It wasn't costing much because the cost of living over there is very low.
Very
the
low,
cost
yeah.
of accommodation.
Well, I think you were telling me, Bernie, was it that most people do for there's a week, there's different kind of, you did the
It's not
full,
too often that you would get, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like people
so
do
you
it
decided to
for
go the full back, like,
Yeah,
and just
4
give it a
weeks,
good
yeah.
trial. Like.
Well, we decided this was definitely going to be all
all in one go. We'd never go back for a week again.
And I have to say now, I would definitely say to anybody who's doing it, if
To
you
do
can at all, do the whole thing, because there's so much more to be gleaned, to be gained from it than you'll get from a week. A week is a nice holiday, do you know what I mean? And 2 weeks is a nice holiday. But what you get from doing the whole lot is so much more. It's a bit like the old
But how
adage.
do you get that? Like, you're walking along the path and different people you meet,
Well,
or
the
just
first 10 days to 2 weeks. So the first 2 weeks is a physical challenge. So basically, you can walk for the first 2 weeks, but you're having difficulty, and you can't do much more than that. Every evening you get in, and your legs and your feet are killing you. You know. So there's not much more you can do. So the first, say, 10 days anyway, you're there and you're hiking and you're recovering, and that's it. So then what happens then after that, then the next week, they say is a mental challenge, you know, so you're kind of walking on
The desert.
Yes, the equivalent of the desert, right?
Yeah.
And the heat beating down on you, and there's not much in terms of scenery and stuff like that, it's very brown. But at that stage, you've recovered physically, so you're physically able, you know. Then the last week, they say, is for the soul, because you're walking in Galicia, which is like Ireland, it's green and mountains and
Lush.
stone walls.
Yeah,
and
the
much
difference,
cooler,
yeah.
and much cooler. And at that point, you've been through the physical, so you're walking as if you do this every day, which of course you do. And you're meeting people who've just started off, and they're at the limping stage and the sore leg stage, and they've no energy at the end of the day. Whereas you do your hike, you do your walk, and you might have done 40 kilometers, and you go for a bite to eat, and you know, you can go out and do stuff afterwards, and then go to bed and get up the next day and just do it all
I'm
again.
surprised you still have the energy to do anything after. Like,
Well, you see, at that
The
stage,
first couple of days
the first,
you
the
can't.
first day you
But your
can't.
body, you get used to it.
and is it regimented now? Like how
Yeah.
many hours you're walking? Like,
No, no.
Well,
you have to get a
it's up
certain
yourself.
distance, is it?
Yeah.
It's up to
Sometimes
yourself.
there is, yeah.
You do up your itinerary in advance. And what we did, our itinerary
You give
was
yourself a kind of
30 day.
leeway, like.
Our itinerary was a 30-day itinerary, but we knew we had to, because of the way the flights are, it's only every 2 days, we had to do it, we had to fly back on the Saturday, which meant that we had to do it in 29. But the thing was, we left it near the end. We'd been given advice by the Camino Ways at a meeting to not try it at the start, because like it's going to be tough enough at the start to just kill yourself. But later on, we did it over the course of 2 or 3 days. We made up a full day, and that was it. It wasn't a major hassle at that stage to do that, and we came in on 29 days, which was perfect. It was exactly what we wanted to do.
And did it make you think about yourselves? Just be with yourself.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
I found, the way, I'm not what you call a worrier. I wouldn't worry about, this today or that today or something like that. Do you know what the people are like? My husband would be worried, he would say, I wouldn't. But what you call it, I remember there was one day we were walking, and I think Jack was ahead of me or something, I don't know. And it was really bare, there was nothing, it was just a road, nothing each side here, and I think maybe it was about 30k, but by the end of the trip, or the day, it was 30k. And I remember I was walking along, and I caught up with Jack, and I remember I said to him, do you know what, my mind has gone blank. Completely. I'd say if you had a worry about, the way you say, oh God, I better text home, or I might have done it for 2 days, and of course we were all looking for the Wi-Fi or the Wi-Fi or whatever you call it. But what you call it, I went to that, and I remember I said to myself, I got up with Jack, and I said, do you know what? Everything that I had thought of before I came here, complete blank. And I noticed when I came back, and even if I was doing shopping in Tesco, which I normally do, coming from work or something, like when I went back to work, maybe the next, so we came back on a Sunday, I was back to work Monday.
Back Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday, and then we're back to work on Monday. And I remember coming home and I'd say, the way you don't for agencies, there's something for dinner the next day or whatever, it might be for 2 days the next day. I came home 3 days, for about, I'd say 6 months, I kept forgetting things I had to get. My mind was still blank, and it still is. I remember I said to you, and you said to me, that's the best yoga session you ever had.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it was. But I remember I read somewhere,
So you're just worrying about things you shouldn't be worried about. Just let it be.
Well, as I say, I wasn't worried, it was just things I said, thinking about maybe I'd do that, but that wouldn't worry me, But everything just cleared, and it's still like that in my mind, really. It is a good one.
So you got something of great value out of it.
And I remember I read somewhere about something, maybe on one of the books or something, I don't know where, I read it somewhere anyway, on the way or whatever, and I just said, God, that is true, You found something too, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, you got to spend a lot of time with people, and you get to see things from their perspective, and you find out about why they're there, why you're there. And then there's times when you're walking on your own, and you're left alone purely with yourself, and it's just you and your thoughts.
Just you and your thoughts,
Yeah.
That's something that's not happening today. Everybody has their phones, they have to connect to the internet.
Nobody thinks for themselves.
We never set phones, really, did we?
It was only 90, or even myself, you spend a lot of time on your own, out in the field, just doing it, just to yourself,
Maybe at night time sometimes I'd try and catch up maybe, and then there was places there was no connections or anything like that. You just forgot about it.
And how did you feel about that? Shane, would have hit you the hardest now, do you know?
Being the youngest.
No, because when we were young, we never had that,
Yeah. I mean, it was, I guess, annoying for the first couple of days, because I had a couple of glitches with the technology itself, the phones were dying or not actually working after that. But I mean, so I think it was the first week my phone literally just gave up and said, no, we're not working anymore. So I really didn't have much of a choice.
So you had to get really involved with it,
Yeah, but it was, I didn't really have much of a problem. I might have borrowed Dad's phone maybe in the evening, occasionally, to see how everyone is and let people know.
But after a while, you forgot about it, you weren't.
Really cool happened, they'd be like, oh, you'd never guess what happened today, or what kind of person I met today, or what countries they were from and stuff.
And another thing too I noticed, the way we met so many different people and we got so friendly with them, and the thing was then somebody said, wonder what happened in the world today, and everybody said, I don't know. We could have blown up in France beside us, and I don't think we would have known about it,
Yeah.
That sort of thing, wasn't it?
I think at one point I asked.
Then it was meeting so many different people, and you can appreciate and understand
It was great
different
community.
cultures.
Somebody referred to it as a travelling village. The same people were in each town or whatever, pretty much each night, and so you had all the same people, just in a different place, And it was great sense of community, camaraderie, and people helping each other out, and that sort of thing. We definitely found that. That was
we used
brilliant.
to have dinners together then, and
Yeah.
You know, my
Yeah.
beautiful
The big
garden
long table and everybody's sitting around it and just passing all the food. We're all cooking different things.
The communal, like hostels you're saying in, or
Yeah.
hostels.
Kind of,
Okay.
Yeah.
The best ones were the parochial, so they were run by the church. Because there was great community spirit there. The people who worked there were volunteers rather than paid employees, so there was a difference in attitude.
Yeah,
You know?
and there are some that are run more like hotels or B&Bs and stuff like that.
And
Look more for money and
Yeah.
We found them more near the end, didn't we? Really, they were more kind of
Yeah, because
bigger.
that's where everything was much more commercial.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
most
the
people
last
would walk.
200 kilometres was more commercial.
Yeah, because that's where a lot of the more local
Yeah.
people would start if they had a week off work. They'd say, okay, we'll walk the last part. This week.
In order to get your cert, you had to do the last 100 kilometres. That's all you had to do to get the cert. Whereas
Who gives you this certain, like
When
you're
get to
certain
the-
checkpoints?
When you get to Santiago, you go
Yeah.
into
the office?
like a tourist office building, like specifically for the Compostela. And some people queued for ages, but we managed to get in really quick for some reason. And
You
It was-
snake, you did
When
something.
you're looking, you're looking.
Yeah.
I think it was we were Irish and it was
Yeah.
And you know, we got to go in, we hand them our little passport with all the stamps we collected along the way, all the different hostels.
So you pick up
yeah,
stamps.
so it's evidence you were there.
Okay.
But you're in the most beautiful little places, though. The most beautiful, like you're in the middle of a wilderness, in the middle of Spain. You know what I mean? Where it's not commercialising or nothing.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
minus little churches, little courthouses. You know
Yeah,
what I
you're
mean?
walking, you have to look around and you have to.
Yeah, you know what I mean,
It's
and
really
they're
nice.
all welcome. You know what I mean. You're always welcome in every place. You
And you
know?
could go 2 or 3 days without finding a shop that took a laser card, like a debit card, or without finding an ATM. So we had to learn pretty quickly to bring cash with us, you know. Whereas we were thinking, should we get a little bit of cash for along the way, and then each night we take out enough to cover accommodation and whatever, or else just use the card to pay for stuff, you know. Yeah, it didn't work out that way. It didn't work out
there
that
was
way.
a constant back and forth with people with money and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're passing it over to one or a bit.
It sounds like you definitely recommended any of it to other people to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, like it's not for everybody, but I definitely recommend that everybody try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you're saying, it's not for Catholic reasons or whatever. It's not for
Yeah.
religious reasons.
You
Just
don't even have to be a
it's
scout.
a spiritual
or-
reason, like
Like there's some people who go and they haven't walked a day in their lives, and like, we go regularly to, you know, mountain hikes or
Yeah.
forest hikes. But then we meet people on the way who it's the first time ever buying a pair of like, walking shoes, and it's literally brand new, bought the day before they go on. And
Yeah.
that would have caused problems in itself with the blisters because they're brand new. But like you see people who have bought brand new gear because they've never done anything like this in their life.
True. Yeah, yeah. And,
No, but everybody, you know, they used to leave the food out for us as well, you know, to be like fruit in the mornings and,
Yeah,
you know what I
biscuits or
mean?
water.
That was the local people. But the one thing that some of the Spanish people had told us, the local people would have said to us too as well, years ago they used to, it was a community type of thing, you know what I mean, like they say maybe even 20 years ago, that we said the farm places along the way always left food, maybe bread and cheese in the morning time. If you didn't get out to eat in whatever hostel you were staying in, you had something. But that tradition has gone a lot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's only in very few places we would have got that now, like there's certain places,
Yeah.
the tea and everything there for you. You
That's
know what I
right.
mean? Yeah.
And like a few times along the way, you came across stuff, and you just kind of needed it a bit at that moment in time, you know.
Sit.
And it was amazing how someone might just leave a bunch of grapes on along the way. There was like little stone pillars with yellow arrows on them, you know. The yellow arrow was telling you which way to go, and someone would leave a bunch of grapes on it, you know. And then there was other places where you could take drinks of water or juice or thing, and there might be nobody there, and there might be a cup, and you could leave a donation if you wanted.
A lot of places were based on donation.
Yeah.
Like even hostels, you could go there for the night and then the next day or whatever, you'd give
Give a
whatever
donation if
money,
you wanted,
just
you
a
know.
donation to the people.
And you
around.
never had to lift your hand. Remember, dinner was cooked for you and everything. No, it is worth watching it. Like as I said, I never seen it.
I must watch it now, that film.
You do watch it, and if you
Yeah.
probably understand what we've talked about here, you know what I
and
mean?
the movie captures the spirit of the Camino very well.
Yeah.
It's so limited in that it's like an hour and a half or whatever.
He's
2
fairly
hours.
religious though, isn't it? Like he's
Well,
think so.
not particularly,
No?
not in the movie.
Yeah,
No.
they
I
can seem
think
a very religious
maybe Martin
No.
Sheen himself is religious, but it doesn't come across as being religious.
Because the way the
It's
story is
not a
told,
religion.
it's not that he went there for religious reasons. It was
He went there, I think, for the same reason as most people go.
Well, his son went.
Yeah.
Well, the point of the opening for the film was that the son went on a trip to the Camino, but he died on the first day in the mountains. And then the father went to collect the ashes, and while he was there, he was convinced, kind of passively by the people around him, that he should continue the Camino. And then along the way, he discovered the ashes of his son. So it was a very powerful family story as opposed to being religious, because if it was based completely around the church or anything like that, people might turn away from it because it's too preachy, you know. So it was more about, you know, his family and his commitment to his son and stuff.
And an awful lot of people we met now, a good lot of them would have done it because they say they had changing work, or they didn't fully know. Remember Isabel and different things and all, didn't know what else to do. Maybe a relationship ended.
They were looking for answers or just
to see
questions
find
and stuff.
answers on that. You know what I mean?
So that stuff kind of takes in the background of your head, and you don't realise that you're thinking of it until you get a click and it's like, oh, well, that's what I can do, or this is something that I haven't tried before.
And it's amazing the people you meet, and maybe they give you some advice, or you give them some advice, or you might say something to them, and they go, oh yeah, you know, be kind of moment, and fight, and same the other way around as well. Like they would say something to you, and you go, oh right, yeah.
And what about,
kind of
we come back here to here now, and you're looking for people to come and volunteer or stuff like that?
Oh yeah, we're always looking for volunteers.
Yeah,
We're so
that's
short.
one thing now.
Yeah.
We run on a very shallow base, if you like, of leaders. That we have the same leaders doing everything, you know.
And is there many of you leaders like here?
Not really.
There's not.
There's 7 leaders.
7 or 8. Yeah.
7 leaders running 3 sections, running across 3 sections.
So do you have many kids then, like coming here? Like,
we have about 40.
40 or 40, is it?
About 40 kids, I'd say.
that's healthy, isn't it? Like it's good.
That's decent enough. Decent enough. Like the thing about it is, we couldn't take any more in anyway with the number of leaders. If we had more leaders, then obviously we could potentially take more kids in, you know. But we're so tight, trying to do everything. Like Bernie there works the Cubs on a Monday, and then she works the Scouts on a Thursday. Last year she was running across Beavers, Cubs and Scouts as I was myself. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So you kind of, and that sort of thing you can't do for too long, you know.
No,
you
can do
burn it out, and then what happens if you lose a leader? You're losing 3 leaders because they're running across 3 sections, you know. And so we definitely do need leaders. People with a kind of sensitive nature, you know, who like to get out, don't mind meeting people, don't mind.
Or maybe just people out there have done it before, like as kids, like
it's
something
very,
that they can pick it back up.
Very hard.
Yeah.
It is very hard to get people back into it, and there is. I know a lot of young people go to college, right? I understand that completely, you know, and they're going to get on with their lives. But sometimes we might get an odd person back if they come back down to here, or else if they have a partner and they might have a child or something like that. Because then we say they're thinking about what the child is going to get involved in, and that would hit. But definitely we do need leaders, and it's very, very hard to get people. We keep well, the main thing I get back to me is, oh, we're so busy. I often just say, what do you think we are? You know, like we all work as well. You know,
that's it. You know.
You know, like we all work and do things as well. You know.
And be a great experience as well. It's you're meeting people and you're
you're
leading. You're
social, like among
yeah.
Like that was one thing that I was surprised by when I became a leader, was because I only ever saw the leaders when they were supervising us or when we had to work, and I only ever seen them under those kind of circumstances. But when I was with the kids, like when I was a kid, that we were all social with each other, but not exactly with the leaders. But now that I'm with the leaders, I see how the social interaction works with them on a different level as well.
That can only help you in your every other day life, you know.
Because you meet some great people, and it's great to spend time with like-minded people. You know, and I learn so much from other leaders. They learn from us, you know.
And would you tell me, like, what's your best moment of this kind of?
Well, I tell you, maybe it's not just one moment, but I feel very lucky, very privileged that I have managed to spend time with the kids growing up as they've been growing up, because I find that a lot of people, when the kids kind of hit their teens, they kind of lose them, and I've been very lucky that I actually get to spend time with them, you know, and teach them, I suppose, my values and my philosophy on life and that sort of thing, and that where they wouldn't have that at all, you know. They wouldn't have that influence if I was just working all day and barely seeing them at night, you know. So that's, to me, is the biggest thing I've gained from scouting anyway. You
And
know.
yourself, Shane?
Again, I don't know if I have like a best moment. It's just kind of a collective of over the years on like the skill that I have, or just the connection with the other people as well, I guess.
Yeah. And yourself?
It's something like the Shane said, I wouldn't be able to pick one moment. It's just, we say, all the trials we've gone through.
It's everything, like it's...
Coming out better at the other end.
Yeah, you know what I mean, what we've come through and all the kids that have gone through here, it's unbelievable. And like I always say now, the minute you walk in that door, I can say, you're going to be trouble or you're not. I can't, the minute you walk in that door, because we've had every type of child, everything and all of that. But it's great now to meet the ones like even I do say to Shane, oh my God almighty, haven't we got very old when he's giving out to the kids, you know, many times I've said it to him lately, you know, but it's just the way, you know, when you meet them afterwards, you know, like most of them now I would have gone through are, my God.
I suppose that's nice, you meet him on the street and
I meet them down the street and all this thing, and I think, I don't want to know, you know what I mean, or else they're coming with a pram and this and that now to say, you know, but most of them have, and then some of them are getting married, some of them are married now, and it's great to see them getting on, that's one thing, you know what I mean, and now sometimes, if I had them for a couple of years here, and they might have left or whatever, even if I was in a pub, next thing someone come up, hiya Bernie, can't remember the name, you know what I mean?
I've seen so many.
And next thing then they'll turn to me and they'll say, oh yeah, and then we could go back about like where we were, what we did.
Going to Wales or something like that.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Like
You're giving them great memories though,
yeah,
when you're young,
yeah.
when they're young, like you're giving them great memories, like
yeah.
you know.
And then they'll think, and I said, yeah, and wasn't I a devil or something like that? But then, you know, like they're all over 18, 20, 21 now, so I don't mind turning around and saying, yeah, you were. And all what you used to do, you know, try to coddle leaders, sneak into the tent this way and out the other side, you know, because we hadn't as good tents at that time. But, you know, that's what I like, you know what I mean, to meet them. And as I say, half the time, I might reckon it, because they do change. You know what I mean? Some of them haven't even changed. Now, even there was one fella down here there a couple of months ago, he's in college now, but he wanted, I don't know what it was, but we just went through some of the old ones now, maybe 21, maybe 23 now at the moment. But sometimes they come back like that, and we just had the book there open, the cup book or whatever it was, and he was in Scouts as well, and we laughed, oh my God, I remember him, you know, he was going through it. And I was thinking, God, if he's going through it, like what would I be? You know, did it go back in the years? And like when I take it out, some of them are where they are in Dublin and at jobs, and I just say to myself, my God, how did that person ever get jobs? There's one or two of them, and they're protected those.
And is there any big events coming up this year?
No, I don't.
Well, we're just back from the Mourne Mountains now. We were away last weekend. Went up as far as the observatory in Armagh, and then we got caught in a storm then on Saturday night, so we lost a couple of tents in that, but we got through, and we hiked the Mourne Mountains then on Sunday, so we come back then Sunday night. But that's usually this time last year we went to Snow the same weekend, the Bank Holiday weekend. So we haven't planned out our summer camp this year yet. But I'd say it'll be somewhere in Ireland anyway this year. Next year.
That was interesting though, the observatory, like...
It was absolutely brilliant. We have
so do you try and do that, is it? You try and go hiking and then have something else interesting?
We have a cultural thing
yeah.
Normally as well. So we normally do 2 days, 1 day hiking, 1 day some sort of cultural. Like last year we went to Snow and we hiked on 1 day, and then we went to the slate mines. And they have all the old machinery, and they have interactive demonstrations. They have somebody demonstrating how to split the slates and explaining the story of how young they were starting there and how long they were there.
Child labour, like young.
Oh yeah, and how hard the work was. Like, I mean, it gives you, even us, an appreciation for how hard they had to work. and how little they got paid, and how they were really ripped off by the mine owners, you know. And they have everything from, they have a terrace of houses which are all identical.
And they're still standing, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what they did was they rebuilt them in this particular.
Just to give you a look at what it was.
Yeah.
And what you do is actually you go in and you have a house from 1860, 1910, 1960, and 2010, something like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Tiny,
so you go
I'd say,
along the wall.
very small.
Yeah.
No,
And you
laboratories.
can see they're all the same house.
Outside laboratories, isn't it? Yeah.
But yeah, just how they changed on the
Yeah.
inside, and that down through the years. But there's all sorts of things there, you know. So that's just one example of what you might do to learn, you know, to give them more than just the hiking. Like they love the hiking and that, but it's nice to have a day, a more restful day as well.
Getting great value, like your history, social history, everything.
That's
like,
it,
you know.
absolutely, yeah.
And was it 2 years ago we brought them to Poland, wasn't it?
Yeah, we brought them to
Country,
Poland. That was 3 years now.
3 years, that's
2013,
3 years.
yeah. So we brought them to Poland
Krakow,
for
was
10
it, or
days.
something?
No, we brought them, we went with a Polish group from Dublin, wasn't it?
Yeah.
87.
And we met their group leader, as a matter of fact. I met him on training in Mayo when we were training as leaders, and then some of the rest of our county met him at some other training. And there was a friendship set up, and they go to Poland on their annual summer camp for a week every year, different, you know. So then our county here decided to join them. So we went to, what's the name of it? Kretschkow.
Yes, indeed. And basically, yeah, we spent 10 days in the woods.
In the woods camp.
It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
Campsites are massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the second cleanest lake in Europe.
Wow.
You know, and you could swim in it, you could kayak in it, you could do whatever you wanted, go sailing. And we did a bit of everything. And
The cultural tours as well.
yeah, we did a tour then halfway through the week just to get us out of the woods. You know? But the weather was beautiful. We had one day we had a storm, and apart from that, it was absolutely gorgeous weather. And it was absolutely brilliant, yeah. And the kids, like for the cost of it was very, very little cost because accommodation and that, you know, it doesn't cost too much to live in the woods.
No.
You know, but yeah, and the food was provided, the tents were provided, everything like that, you know. So
No, a lot of them didn't like the Polish food, of course, but the best one I ever got.
but a lot of the same ones don't like Irish food.
For the,
Yeah.
oh,
Well,
What's
yeah.
going to do with that?
no, they couldn't understand the Polish food or anything. But the best one I got was the evening that we all went down for. Now there was what, a couple of hundred people, more 1,000 people there, because there was a lot of the Polish groups
Yeah,
from
scouts, yeah.
scouts. They all camped there, so that's all. We were the only people that were Irish, you know, in the whole area, you know. But one evening we went down for dinner, and all the kids got first, and of course the leaders would be always last. And next thing the word came through, it's chicken, right? So they were thrilled, and it was in a batter, you know. So we were all wondering, and God, the big smiles came on their faces. So they all ate that evening, and so we got it the same, you know. Sat down, and I said to one of the leaders beside me, I said, "That's not chicken, that's pork." They all thought the pork was chicken.
So there you go.
But that's their example now, you know what I mean? They,
Has anybody ever famous come through your ranks or whatever? No.
no.
Even local, like, yeah, no.
No. No, we would never have had
Yeah.
anybody famous now through here. So we wouldn't.
Well, one lad who's making a living in England now is Darren Toole.
Oh yeah,
He's gone over there for kind of.
I know him, he's good.
He
Yeah.
does poetry and
Oh.
like
stand-up comedian.
yeah,
An artist.
he does live poetry.
Actor, he
and
does a bit of everything. Like,
acting. Yeah, he does a
Oh,
lot of
that's
things.
his friend, is it?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
He's good. He doesn't drink or smoke either.
No, he
He's
doesn't,
fierce.
no.
Determined lad, like, yeah.
he is. Yeah, well, he's quite famous on the internet,
Yeah.
which is kind of separate to other
Yeah.
kind of
Blog famous, isn't it? Blogger,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, he was doing stand-up in the Apollo, wasn't he?
Yeah, probably.
Probably the comedy.
The last time I was
club,
talking to him, he was home there around Easter. I was chatting to him there in Tesco, and he was saying, I think, quite sure he said that he was doing stand-up in the Apollo, you know.
Yeah, and he's working on it.
That's a big thing now, like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he's definitely doing well for himself.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, well, we've had the lads have done well now down through the years. We had when the Longford Youth Factor, we had 5 scouts in the finals, you know, and one of them came third.
Luke Butler won.
Oh yeah,
Luke Butler.
Oh yeah,
Guitars, isn't it?
Yeah.
Raising,
yeah.
Yeah,
What's his band again?
Lacuna.
Lacuna.
Yeah, they won. Yeah.
So they won it one year. So we had
Oh.
5 in the final one year and one in the third, and then the next year whatever,
Yeah.
they won it. You know, so, and actually there was another year now, it wasn't Longford Scout, it was Lanesborough Scout,
But they probably wouldn't have met each other like if you hadn't come here, you know. That kind of
well, that's it, and actually they all got the music from, the Scout leader used to be here, and he does a bit of music himself and his wife, they both play guitar and sing and stuff. And they said, sure, look, they brought in a few guitars and musical instruments and that, and said, sure, we'll have a bit of music next week. And I was looking going, well, the best of luck with that. And I was thinking, I won't have to be doing too much next week, you know, because I'm not that musical. And lo and behold, within the year, they were all in the youth factory, they were all in different bands, you know, so it's amazing how that can happen, you know.
But one thing about Scouts now, and I know this one, is 20, maybe 30 now, like this Christmas coming, as a matter of fact. And I had them through Beavers, Cubs and Scouts. And I remember he always said to me, he said, the one thing about giving the confidence, you know what I mean, to stand up in front of people, like he's working in Dublin, he's getting married this summer as well. But I remember he always said that to me. And I remember one time too, he got up at the altar. We used to do a lot of mass at that time. Now that's changed since we changed over. And there was a young fella that was a cub here, and he was killed. You know, he fell off a wall and died. And I remember he went up to say one prayer, you know, during the mass, because we were all involved in the mass. And he went up and said it, and all of that. And he said, you know, only for the Scouts, I would never have the courage to go up and do that. You know, that's one, you know what I mean, like something on that line. Now there has a lot of them have come back and said that to me. Because they're out and they're sitting at a big campfire. Everybody, even if you make a fool of yourself, even the leaders
sing a song, that sort of thing, and everybody has to do it. Even the leaders have to do it.
Oh yeah, we make fools of ourselves, I do, you know what I mean.
And the thing is that...
And what's your party piece?
I have no party piece. We went up and sang, I don't know what it was the last time with the cup thing.
We did Friends at the Scouts. What happened was everybody was given a topic or one word and had to do a sketch based on it. And we were given the word Friends. So we did a sketch based on the TV programme. But we kind of brought camping into it, you know, and scouted it up. And we even had Mrs. Brown come in at the end. We had one extra person, you see, we had 6 instead of 5 or whatever.
But I think the kids love us going up to make food for themselves. They absolutely have.
And they see us getting up there and doing it, and they say, well, sure, look.
You're great leaders, that's what you know. That's what a good leader is. You're showing them, you know.
But the thing now they do, and they get a great laugh out of it, you know, and you say, oh, wasn't I great now? Many times have I dressed up, you know, like
that's right.
The last time was...
There's pictures of her all over the internet. Actually, we have a Facebook page, Longford Scouts Ireland. So you can lots of discriminating photographs and that, you know.
But no, we did a team for the Cubs, which would be the 8 to 12-year-olds that I'd been with. Last summer we did a summer camp in our campsite in Boy. So the team of it was circus, you know. So every one of the leaders, every one of us dressed up, you know what I mean, made pure fools of ourselves. Well, look at the kids thoroughly enjoyed it. Because next thing I remember, we did the campfire and we had one fella going around with sweets, you know, shouting for his side, you know what I mean, and this, you know, for the fun, you know. And there was some of them a bit slow now. Some of them are shy, of course, coming up and all like that. And we know that some of them can sing. And so, of course, the male leaders went up. So, of course, the female leaders all looked at each other. They're not getting away with this. So we went up and did something. Next thing, the kids were lining up one after the other to go up and do something. You know, just to get involved in the whole thing. We hadn't time for the whole album to do it.
You're giving them great experience, like for life as well, like, and it would encourage them to be who they are, you know, in life as well, like.
Well, that's it, and to look at different things, you know, bring different
be
sides.
Be open-minded, like, just open-minded to other people in other ways and stuff like that. That's what I'm going to finish up with now is, I know your philosophy on life, maybe, individual, your deep thoughts on life. Something that you believe in, something you learned your own selves the hard way, and that you probably pass on to Shane or whatever. Any you can jump in there.
Well, I suppose that being in Scouts is a bit like you kind of learning to not get too head up over things, being flexible. Like, for example, the Scout motto is be prepared, right? Actually, I know. Life is like an NPC. I had to tell him that. An NPC, I explained to you earlier about pursuit animals where they carry all your gear, right? And the thing, what you do is you set out your route, you get the route, so you have to look at the map and do up a route card, right? So that you follow your route card, okay? But you also have to be flexible in that you might be following what's on the sheet and then realise, okay, there's something there that maybe you didn't know from the map, like there might be a flooded area that you have to go around, so you'll have to be flexible in what you're doing. You also have to carry all the gear you need, but we have a rule, if you can't carry it, you can't bring it, so it makes people think about what they bring. And I suppose it's a bit like that in life, in that we all carry so much stuff that we don't really need. You know, we spend so much time, we waste so much time on things that we don't really need to be wasting time on. And that sort of thing. So from that point of view, you know, yes, you're prepared, yes, you have things in place, you know what you need to bring, so you're much more aware of what you need to bring, but then you have to be flexible in what you're doing. So that's it really, you know.
That's good.
And not to worry too much about it. And just have faith in yourself, in your own ability to carry on and to get through a situation, your own abilities, you know.
And yourself, Shane? Have you got
Yeah, what you said. I don't know. I guess things will always turn out okay. You know, if things look bad now, you have time. You'll see that.
Just keep going, it will come good.
Yeah, just power through it and everything will be okay.
Bernie?
I mean, much the same as Shane, really. You know what I mean? Like, it's been went with the NPC type thing. That, you know, like, be prepared and different things like that. And you have to change. You can't just say, right, we're going to that wall. We know when there's going to be some obstacle in the way. Could be something in the way. You know what I mean? So you know you're going to have to go. And like, it's something like, well, I was probably always like, I don't know, like, there was a lot of things that I would never worry about. And I always said to myself, if that's there, you go that way. If this is there, you go this way. You know what I mean? And I suppose Scouts really has taught me more about that. That it'd be better. Like, some people who come now, if you're on camp and whatever, they worry about things and think about this and think about that. I said, don't worry, tomorrow's another day. You know what I mean? And if we have to change what we're supposed to be doing, we can change it. Like, it's not the worst of the worst, you know? I probably would be like that, really, you know? Like, I don't know, I do often say to myself, there's something wrong with me, I don't worry. You know?
Well, that's brilliant. So, again, look, thanks for your time. Thanks for sharing that, and all the best in the future. Like, okay.
Thanks very much, man.
All right.